Good evening and welcome to the Connecticut Department of Transportation's public information meeting, the installation of Centerline rumble strips on eligible roadways throughout Connecticut. We'll be presenting specifically tonight for the need for Centerline rumble strips in North Branford on Route 17, Middletown Ave, as well as highlighting the safety benefits that comes with its installation. My name is Rob Smith, and I'm a project engineer at the Connecticut Department of Transportation. I want to thank everyone for taking time to join us. We hope our presentation will be informative, and we hope to answer your questions and concerns during tonight's question and answer session. By the end of tonight's meeting, we hope you'll have a better understanding on the importance and benefits of installing Centerline rumble strips. We ask and greatly appreciate it if you can fill out the very brief feedback survey at the end of the presentation that's located on the project's webpage. The survey will help Connecticut DOT improve these public meetings going forward. And the project webpage is portal.ct.gov/DOT 2025 CLRS-North Branford. There's also a civil rights flyer that's available. The website for that is portal.ct.gov/DOT/equity/Title VI. Finally, I'd like to reinforce that no person shall, on the basis of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation or subject to discrimination in the development of this project. This is the same civil rights flyer as before, but in Spanish. At the end of the presentation tonight, there'll be a question and answer session through the Zoom Q&A. We did get some questions and concerns prior to the meeting, and so we'll also talk about those. But if you have ones that you also want to bring up, you can ask them during the Zoom Q&A. You can also ask a question by sending an email to the project mailbox, which is DOT 2025 CLRS-North Branford at ct.gov, or you can leave a voicemail at 860-594-2020. The comment period will be open through Thursday, September 4th, and you can send or email or leave a voicemail until that date. We also, as I mentioned, have the project web page, which contains the same information that I just explained. The web page address again is portal.ct.gov/DOT 2025 CLRS-North Branford. Recording of tonight's presentation, including the live Q&A, will be stored at portal.ct.gov/CTDOT VPIM archive, which is a link to the DOT's YouTube channel where we post all of these. If you're viewing this presentation on Zoom, you have the option to view captions or subtitles for this presentation. To turn on this feature, select the closed caption button at the lower right corner of your screen to turn on the captioning. Then choose the language by selecting the settings wheel next to the CC button. Select captions, subtitles, and then select the language. Before we start the presentation and introduce the project team, I would like to go over another housekeeping item and explain the format for tonight's meeting. Our presentation will last about 20 minutes, and once it's completed, we'll do the question and answer session. And like I said, you'll have 3 ways to communicate with us during the live Q&A. And to do it through the Q&A option, you click on the Q&A icon at the bottom of the meeting page, type in your question in the pop-up window. I'd now like to introduce those from the department who are participating in this meeting. Balaj Zoke is the supervising engineer in Connecticut DOT's traffic safety unit, and he's the project manager for this project. Colin Bomber is also a supervising engineer in the traffic safety unit, and Shane McLean is an engineer also in the safety engineering unit. And he'll be monitoring the project email address and call-in voicemail for any questions or comments that come in through those channels during the live Q&A. Once again, I'm Rob Smith. I'm the project engineer for this project within the safety engineering unit, and I'm the primary presenter for this meeting. I'll also be answering the questions at the end. We'll go through the project description and purpose of this project, as well as the objectives we hope to achieve. We'll also go through a description of what centerline rumble strips are and why centerline rumble strips are the best countermeasure for this roadway segment. Next, I'll discuss the installation process of centerline rumble strips, and then we'll go over the cost and timeline for this project before we wrap everything up with a live Q&A discussion. So the Connecticut Department of Transportation will resurface. We were out there this week, so it looked like it already wrapped up. Route 17 Middletown Avenue from North Haven Town Line to Route 22 in North Branford, a total of about 1.8 miles is highlighted on the map. The entire section was identified as being a candidate for installation of centerline rumble strips. I'll go over what our eligibility requirements are for centerline rumble strips later in the presentation. Centerline rumble strips are discontinued at intersections with public streets, such as Spruce Street, because vehicles use the intersection area when they're turning into and out of these side roads. So what are centerline rumble strips? They're grooves within the double yellow centerline that produce sound and vibration inside the vehicle when tires come into contact with them. The sound and vibration alerts the driver that they've departed from their lane and gives the driver opportunity to recover. Centerline rumble strips are different than the grooves along the edges of the interstate highways. The grooves for centerline rumble strips on secondary roads, which is what we're talking about tonight, are not as deep, and they produce much less sound outside the vehicle. In recent years, we've even started installing these wavy sinusoidal, what we call mumble strips in the center line, which make even less noise. And you can see example of that in the photo. The department goes through a screening process based on federal highway guidance to determine centerline rumble strip eligibility for each road. So we take a look at the traffic volume. We want the average daily traffic on the road to generally be above 2,000 vehicles per day. We want to ensure that the pavement is in good condition and less than 3 years old. We want to see that the roadway has a minimum width of 14 feet from the center line to the edge of the road, so there's plenty of room for drivers to maneuver without going over the center line rumble strips. The roadway generally would have a posted speed limit of 35 miles an hour or more. And lastly, we also take residential density into account. If there's homes along the road segment, we try to ensure that the majority are at least 100 feet from the road edge. Here's a map of the existing centerline rumble strips in North Branford in purple and blue. The proposed centerline rumble strips on Route 17 are shown in green. The first centerline rumble strips in North Branford were installed in 2017. That might have been the year that the program was started. They may have actually been installed in 2018, but 2017, 2018. And those were the older traditional style. The centerline rumble strips installed recently on Route 139, Branford Road, from the Rose Orchard south into Branford are the new style sinusoidal centerline rumble strips, if you wanted to see an example of those. And those are even quieter than the ones that were installed back in 2017, 2018. Also, Route 22, Clintonville Road, near the North Haven town line, has been repaved this year, and the reinstalled centerline rumble strips should also be the sinusoidal, the mumble type rumble strips. Here's a clip from Connecticut DOT's informational video about centerline rumble strips. For the video, interviews were conducted with state police, a Yukon traffic safety expert, and a town official regarding the benefits that they have seen from the Centerline rumble strips. The full video is available on Connecticut DOT's YouTube channel, CTDOT Official. And I'm going to play this now.
The biggest causes of head-on collisions seem to be distractions inside the vehicle. As a result of that, people leave their lane of travel, they drift over into the opposing lane, and then strike the other vehicle. When you combine the movement of one vehicle and the movement of another directly striking one another, the force is multiplied.
The Centerline rumble strips are grooved pavement that is placed along the center of the road that provides tactile information to drivers if they're leaving their travel lane, crossing over the center line. They get a vibration and a sound to alert them that that's what's happening, and it has them correct back into their travel lane.
The process of installing the rumble strip was great. The work was done at nighttime when there's less traffic, and before you knew it, the rumble strips were in. We've noticed a lot less traffic fatalities, a lot less head-on collisions, so the rumble strips actually help quite a bit when it comes to distracted driving.
Causes of head-on collisions seem to be...
Why do we use Centerline rumble strips? So crash statistics from 2022 to 2024 in Connecticut show that roadway departure crashes accounted for approximately 480 the 950 total fatalities, or around 51%. Federal Highway has identified Centerline rumble strips as a proven safety countermeasure to address head-on and sideswipe opposite direction crashes. Therefore, in an effort to reduce this number, they recommend Centerline rumble strips to be installed in all eligible locations. When driven upon, the audible and vibratory warning greatly improves the chances that a driver will quickly and safely return to their lane. Also, as mentioned in the previous slide, a wavy sinusoidal shape is being used, a design which reduces noise outside the vehicle. Centerline rumble strips also have the additional benefit of helping drivers navigate during poor weather conditions such as fog, snow, and rain when pavement markings are hard to see. As I mentioned in the last slide, Centerline rumble strips are an example of a proven safety countermeasure according to Federal Highway, along with other countermeasures shown in this slide. Additional information can be found by Googling proven safety countermeasures and clicking on the first link from Federal Highway. Connecticut DOT's Safety Engineering Unit also has an informational website, provides additional information that's specific to Connecticut. In 2024, there were 23 fatalities and approximately 1,800 injuries from head-on and opposite direction sideswipe crashes on Connecticut non-freeway roadways. Centerline rumble strips help reduce these types of crashes, which could be attributed to distracted or fatigued driving. Around 42% of people injured in crashes associated with vehicles crossing the Centerline were of ages 20 to 39. And in a 2024 study, Connecticut roads saw a nearly 20% decrease in roadway departure crashes after the installation of Centerline rumble strips on roads like this one that we're talking about tonight. Looking at the motor vehicle crash history on this segment of Route 17 and North Branford, from 2020 to 2024, there were at least 3 crashes that involved drivers encroaching over the center line, resulting in injury and property damage. There were also crashes where distracted drivers drove off the right side of the road. So distracted lane departure crashes have been an issue in this area in the past. If people want to take a look at some of the crash data, it's publicly available from the Connecticut Crash Repository, which is put together by Yukon from the crash reports submitted by police departments in the state. The point of the centerline rumble strips is to reduce the possibility of these types of centerline crossing crashes. It's also important to note that near misses are not recorded in this crash history. So they may be happening, but there is no information on them. Centerline rumble strips are an effective, low-cost, and proactive treatment intended to reduce lane departure crashes and will aid in continuing to keep these crashes from happening. Additionally, per the info graph at the bottom of the slide, centerline rumble strips from other studies in other states have reduced head-on crashes by as much as 50%, run off the road crashes by 46%, and fatal crashes by 51%, and serious crashes by 41%. So there are approximately 43 states across the country that use centerline rumble strips, including all the Northeast states. Connecticut started installing centerline rumble strips in 2017, and shoulder line rumble strips on limited access highways since 1994. At this point, we've installed over 500 miles of centerline rumble strips on state roads and over 90 miles on local roads, with more being proposed every year. Lastly, there is a link to a video titled Rumble Strips, The Sweet Sound of Safety, which is a short YouTube video uploaded by Federal Highway, and that will be available once the presentation is posted online. It can also be found on YouTube by searching for that title. As you can see on the map, as of last winter, the majority of towns in Connecticut have had rumble strips already installed. All the towns shown in blue already have centerline rumble strips, whether it's on a town or state-owned roadway, and the towns in orange are programmed to have them installed. Towns shown in white do not currently have centerline rumble strips, but will likely receive them as the road gets repaved. So the average cost of installing centerline rumble strips is about $1 per linear foot. This means the total cost of centerline rumble strips is approximately $9,000 for this segment of Route 17 in North Branford. The cost will be covered 100% by state funds. There's no cost to the town, with construction anticipated to take place this fall or next spring. These are just a couple of pictures taken from construction showing part of the milling and grooving process. While installing the rumble strips, the construction vehicles travel at about 2 to 3 miles per hour. So the work is done during non-rush hours, and the center lines are painted shortly after. So this would be done, in a day. And with that, I want to thank you for your time listening to our presentation. And now it's time to hear from you in our live question and answer session. Remember, you can use the Zoom Q&A to send us live questions. You can also email us any questions or comments via the project email address, or leave a voicemail message on the call-in phone line. We also want to encourage you to take our brief survey to help us improve how we deliver these virtual public information meetings in the future. So now I'll ask Balaj if, what kind of questions and comments we got that we can start to address.
Thank you, Rob, for that informative presentation. As of right now, I'm keeping an eye on the question and answer box in Zoom, but I haven't seen anything come in. Having said that, I do know that we've had a couple of emails sent to us about this section of Route 17 in North Branford, so I will start reading some of those off, and if we get questions in the meantime, then we will get to those as well. So the first one that we received was an email concern from a resident who has a noise-related disability and is concerned about the disturbance that may be caused from the sound of vehicles when they cross over the centerline rumble strips.
Yeah, so for sure, all the concerns are going to be taken into account before we decide the final centerline rumble strip installation location. In past years, we've adjusted project limits based on public feedback about specific location in the towns. So we definitely welcome all that information from the town and from the public. So we are going to wait until we get all the feedback, including that really important concern before we make any determination about where they'll be installed.
Okay, thank you, Rob, for that response, and thank you for that email. We have another email here. It says, I want to say how opposed I am to these rumble strips. They are not needed.
Sure. And you know, it's easy to think so day to day, you may not see a lot of crashes going on, on the road in front of your house. And people are often surprised when they look up the crash history or we present them with, what's going on in their town to see, how many crashes are actually going on. Um, Centerline rumble strips are a proactive countermeasure that we install to prevent future crashes. Crashes are random events, so these are low cost and low impact countermeasures. So the goal is to prevent crashes, even if they haven't occurred at that location yet, to prevent them in the future. Having said that, this specific location actually does have a crash history of vehicles going over the center line and of distracted drivers. So it definitely was even more important for us to consider this segment for centerline rumble strip installation while they're doing the repaving, while we have the chance to get that done at the same time.
Okay, thank you for that response, Rob. We are getting a couple of uh, question statements from Mr. Potter, Clifford Potter. Mr. Potter, I just want to let you know that yes, we can read your comments, but we can't see or hear you. So if you do have any questions, I think the best way to contact us, other than the email that you've sent in the past, is to, if you have anything that you were able to type out, we can, respond to that live tonight. I also see that a Mr. Auger has their hand raised. I think Mr. Auger, for you as well, the best the best course of action is to try and type it out. If you have a question, we can try to see if we're able to give you like the rights to talk, although I'm not sure if it necessarily works with Zoom, but we can give it a shot and see what happens. So I think I just gave you.
All right, good.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's Fred Auger. I'm a commissioner in town and a lifelong resident. And I just had some comments based on your presentation. You'd noted 7 states don't use rumble strips or mumble strips. And then a question I have for you is how many states use 100 feet as your minimum? I know that's quite small. I'm curious if there's any state at all in the United States that goes that close to people's houses.
Yeah, so that 100-foot buffer is best practices that FHWA uses. So
No, it's not. No, it's not. I've been on their webpage. They have a number that's actually called 650. And you know what the 650 significance is, right? If you don't, you're not reading their page. It says at 650, that's when you get to a point where the noise impacts are tolerable and become tolerable. So the issue I have, I'd love to see our streets be, perfectly safe, but you are stomping all over our residents' right to have a quiet enjoyment of their homes and properties. That's been the issue all along. We would welcome them if that kind of disregard wasn't disregarded, and you actually said, well, there's only 6 houses here, so we're going to let the rumble strips blow up their bedrooms. That's been the issue, and it's shared by everyone with great disdain that you don't consider the residents' houses and their bedrooms.
Hey,
So
Commissioner Fred, yeah, definitely if you want to email, that link to us. One thing I'll say is, I've been to North Haven twice now. Uh, I stand on the side of the road as people drive over them, and I definitely invite you guys to as well. The ones that have been installed, like I said, between Rose Orchard going into Branford Town Line, those are the new quieter ones. Those are the ones that we intend to install. We went out there again this week, and it is location specific. I'll say that. we
Yep.
really struggled to hear anyone go over the rumble strip, especially over the existing road noise. So we really do try to we take it very seriously. I will have to say that, the potential noise. And we have gone out to many locations to see, okay, what will the impact be? So I would definitely also invite you to, if you guys have a chance to check that out as well.
Okay. Again, it's right
Um,
on the federal highway guidance, not guidance. You use the word guidance.
Yeah,
It's,
no, and totally understood, and you're right, but that is for the older
yeah. So
specification that we use.
what does that 650 turn into then as a noise that impacts only become tolerable? What is that distance?
So there's a couple of things that we're doing to kind of capture that. We're going to be doing a study specifically to try and capture the difference between the noise of the just traffic passing by, versus the sound of a vehicle hitting it, the
Mhm.
rumble strip, and see exactly what that decibel change is. So that is something that is currently in the works that we're working on. Um, but having said that, I mean, yeah, they are called mumble strips for a reason. It is significantly quieter. And to your point, I do want to say that the reason that we're having this meeting and these public information meetings in general is because we do want the public input, but it's also
Yeah.
because we take the residential density into account. So,
Which
that's,
is it's somewhat unfair.
well, no, as
So
in, so
because
we
you're
wouldn't,
not tightly, you're not density, you can blow up just 10 people's houses as opposed to 20.
Well, the idea with the density is that people are not going to be driving on the center line most of the time, right? At worst, it might be someone drifting, at one point or another. Maybe
Yeah.
it's late.
Yeah. 2 o'clock when
So
people are trying to sleep.
so the idea that any individual home will hear someone go over the rumble strips, if it's low density, they're farther away from the road, very low chance. So that's
Yeah.
that's why we look at the residential density there.
But residential doesn't speak to traffic volume. Those are
well,
two completely different things. You can
Do you
have
have a
almost
lot of
no.
people? Could I ask, do you have a lot of people in town driving over the center line? Is
It
that
depends
something
on
that you've
location, and I
observed?
mean, you would know that as well. That on a short straight strip, no. On gentle curves, absolutely. Especially late at night, no one's bothering to stay in their lane. If it's a straight line, they go straight.
Okay.
So yeah, again, I'm for the safety part. I get kind of hung up with this whole disregard for some of the residents. Regardless if you're in a big neighborhood or small, I'm not really sure you should be subjected to this when it's definitely at a noise level that's going to wake you up in the middle.
So
And you're not going to be out in your yard and be able to enjoy your yard quietly like you should be as a homeowner because somebody keeps whacking rumble strips. And there are
it,
ones that are not prone, and there are locations that are very prone to being hit.
yeah, so I do understand that. I mean, after they're installed, you would hope that people are no longer, that it would keep people from avoiding them. Is
I can
that
tell you
so
firsthand that
we
isn't the case. I can
oh,
tell you first.
okay. So do you live on one of those roads where they're
I
existing?
had
Because
one that
we do know.
previously had them, and I had to
Okay.
move out of my house. I couldn't actually sleep in my house. I actually moved out every night out of my house. So
Was
to
it
say that,
was it one of the state roads that we installed? Because we have had issues in the past
yep,
where towns have installed them. Okay, just checking.
yes, and I only do that because I've been in other meetings. And again, the one thing I've had a problem with too is the comments that we don't care. To me, that's pretty despicable.
Oh, well, I'm very sorry that you ever got that impression.
Oh,
For sure,
we got it firsthand from the engineer, and even the roads project, the one that on 149, there was comments made. Yeah, we really don't care.
huh? Okay.
That's somewhat alarming, and certainly would point me in a direction to stay away from that kind of installation.
Okay.
So
Well, you
I
definitely
mean,
understand that's the point of having this meeting
I
tonight for
probably
sure.
I
And
might have
I'm sorry.
more knowledge of the history of most of this than most people on the call, but really my point is this: if you guys can come up with what is now the new tolerance, that becomes where is it so that's tolerable? What is that distance? It was 650. It's if it's something less, that would be good, but that's been the hang up.
yeah,
I don't,
no, totally.
as somebody who has a voice in this, don't want to subject people to unfair treatment. That being not being able to have quiet enjoyment of their properties.
Totally understand. And I mean, we
Okay.
can certainly get you some other resources and you know, I really want to drive this point home is that we're having this meeting to get the
Yeah,
public
no, I
input.
appreciate it. I
You
appreciate
know,
it. As you can tell, I've had at least one bad experience. But
yeah.
anyway, that's my thing.
Duly noted.
When can we say, hey, it's no longer 650, it's 450, whatever it might be. 100 is too close, regardless of what the thing makes for sun. I can tell you that.
Yep.
Connecticut might have put it there because there's a small state and they wouldn't be able to put many in if they didn't do that in certain towns. I get it, but again, I just don't feel that people should be subjected to that, especially.
Sure. And we can definitely get you the information for, what that distance would be for the new, the newer style
Right.
sinusoidal.
And then,
Like I said,
and
I
then
struggled to hear him over the road noise when I was there the other day, but it can be location specific for sure. So we can get you
Yeah.
that information.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, if you could say what the new 650 is, then we could say, hey, yeah, can we go with it? But can we go with it where we can at least use that number?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, we
Because
will.
there
We'll
are
definitely
some
keep you in the loop on that.
there are some houses very close to the road there, and I know some of them would be subjected to unreasonable amount of noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Thank you for all that. And appreciate
you're
it.
quite welcome. You're quite welcome.
Okay. So Mr. Potter, I know that you have been messaging us to try and also speak. So I have just unmuted you, I believe.
How is that? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm 77 years old. I am nowhere near computer capable.
Oh, that's fine.
No
Understood.
worries at all.
So here I am. I thought I didn't know if I was right. I appreciate everything the state does in front of my house. I've got a few questions. First of all, unfortunately, I am severely affected by PTSD. I've sought professional help. The problem I have is I sleep great from about maybe 11 p.m. till about 2 a.m. At 2 a.m., my body remembers being in Pleiku, Vietnam, back in the 60s, and many nights getting rocketed. So my brain says, well, Cliff, we're not in Northford anymore. We're back in Pleiku, so you're not going to sleep well for the rest of the night. And I've learned through help and stuff, I'm going to have to live with this. It's just, it's part of my life and I'm okay with it. Couple things. When we built the house, what we have now, in my error, I did two things wrong. I made our bedroom face Route 17, and I also put it over the furnace. But there's many things that affect us that go by. There's an all-night trucking outfit. They are on the North Haven town line, and during the day, their trucks come back with all their loads. And about 11 o'clock at night, those loads have been redistributed on their long haulers. They'll be going out at night. And I can't be assured they're going to stay in lane. So I'm sure 18 wheels divided by 2 is 9 wheels will be maybe hitting those rumble strips. Another question is, and I sent pictures, right in front of my driveway, you're starting a passing zone going south. So anybody that's starting to pass is going to have to cross the rumble strips and come back across them someplace. So I'm going to have extensive noise, by them. If it's clear to pass, or if it's not, it seems, again, they're going to go over the rumble strips and come back across them. So I don't know how you could stop that unless you don't install them for that whole passing zone until it's back to no passing further down the road. The Spruce Street entrance. Lots of times people don't make that a clean entrance. They're in front of my house before they're even back on the right side of the road. And I've witnessed all this. I mean, and you can come out. Unfortunately, I'm doing this from a washroom in New Hampshire. We got 3 more days of vacation left. So I don't have much paperwork I could share with you. But the problem is, like I say, Spruce Street and the people, they don't go right real quick. angle into the southbound lane. So I'm wondering, I mean, all these things are going to affect my quality of life. And I just don't think rumble strips, especially with the passing zone, are going to be something I can accept because people are going to pass. It's a straight line from my driveway right down to the top of 8 Mile Hill. It's an open site, and I haven't witnessed maybe one or two accidents in all the years I've lived there in front of my house because it is a straight line. Once you get by Spruce Street intersection, it's a slight curve, and I don't know if you were out there to walk it or not, but there is a slight curve. And then, like I say, you opened it up right in front of my driveway to a passing zone. I don't see how any of this is going to help me. It's just going to aggravate my injury, which I can't. There is no cure for PTSD. And like I say, I'm not bitter about it. It's just part of what my life consists of now. But I need some quality of life, and I don't think these rumble strips are going to help.
Yeah, and thank you, Cliff. And you don't have to give it to us tonight because you did send us your address. So we do
Yes.
know exactly where your house is. So,
Yeah.
like I don't want to, formally say, I want to go back and take all these comments, and we'll look at the locations. But like I said a little earlier in the presentation, for sure, we take those kinds of comments about specific locations, very seriously.
Yes.
So thank you for sending us that, and for also, the passing zone is there, but also letting us know that people are definitely overshooting when they're turning on and off from Spruce Street. So we will definitely
It
take all
is
those comments.
okay because it is I know that as you go north, the road crowns from northbound side being a little higher than the southbound side. So they were actually, I think, trying to avoid that crown as they come out of
Okay.
Spruce Street because the crown between Spruce Street and the north side is a fairly good crown. So I don't think, and sometimes even if there's a little bit of sand there, they'll squeal their tires trying to get onto Route 17 because that's how high that crown is at that point. So I see them going right from Spruce Street right into the passing zone where, from that little double line where it goes right into the chopped line for the passing zone. Now, so I think it's also has to do with the crown coming out of Spruce Street.
Okay.
But I don't know if you guys seen it. Fine. I mean, when I get back home, if I'll be home next week, I mean, I would love to talk to anybody that wants you. I'm willing to find a fix, but I don't want it to be at my expense.
Sure. We totally understand, and thank you for sending us all the information that you did.
Yeah,
I don't
'cause-
know if before you left, so we went out there this week and they have finished the resurfacing part and they have temporary pavement markings down now. I don't know if that was done by the time you went up
Oh yeah,
for
no,
vacation.
that's
That
been.
was done. Okay.
I mean, Tilcon really did a very good job. I have to compliment
Okay.
them, and your guys, the state guys, do the work all night. Um, it's been done for a couple 3 weeks,
Okay. Okay.
completely striped the whole bit,
Okay. Good.
and it was in bad shape. It was in terrible shape. So I mean, we appreciate the effort that you put into fixing it, because I mean, in front of my driveway there was a volcanic pothole that your guys from Branford would always try to work with me and fill in, but you couldn't hold it. There was nothing left to hold it. So this is a great big improvement. So I'm happy with the improvement.
Yeah. No. Okay. That's good. That's good to hear. And hopefully people don't speed more because of that. Oh, that's the only
Well,
thing.
I agree, but they do have like I said, once you get past the edge of, well, past my neighbor to if you're facing my house to the left, once you get past the middle of his house, then everything's flat and straight. But it's just a crown coming out of Spruce Street and a slight curve coming from St. Monica's end that are the two biggest obstacles.
Yep. No, I mean, we'll definitely take
And you
everything
guys,
into account.
if I'm not home or something, you can always have permission to park in my driveway and look around. I'm not that kind of person that, I'm not gonna stop you from doing what you need to do.
Huh.
No, we
No, we
appreciate
appreciate it.
that. Thank you.
And basically, I mean, I don't see, um, there's elderly people up the hill from me, the Flemings. It's all residential, and the two new houses to my right, facing my house, they're pretty
Mhm.
close to the road. They're going to hear the noise. And then there's an older lady that lives um, three houses down on my right. She lives all alone. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, she's for a little further back. Being so much residential until you get past the beginning of 8 Mile Hill, I don't see why we need them because it's straight and there's a lot of residents.
Right. Well, thank you again, Cliff.
Oh,
I
thanks
appreciate
for
all the
somehow.
comments.
I mean, I don't know how I got here, and I
Hey,
can't
listen, all
see
that
any.
matters is you're here now, right? So
Okay, I can't see anybody. I don't know what's going on. You know, what happened to the paper and pencil world?
Oh, man.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for listening to me and arranging this. And I have to admit, the state's usually pretty easy to work with. The Branford office, especially. I want to give them an attaboy. They deserve it.
Great. No, that's great to hear that the guys are doing great in the garage too. So
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Okay.
So if need be, you can put me on mute, or I don't know if you can even see me.
We can't see you, just hear you, but that's yeah,
Okay.
no
Well, that's
worries.
great because I just clicked on something that said webinar, and and I don't know where I went from there.
Yeah. Well, now you're
But
here with us.
I saw the moderator, and then he's gone now.
Oh, here, I'll put myself back on, Cliff.
He's
So
still here, don't
I
Oh,
worry.
am
okay.
still
Oh,
here.
there you
Yeah,
are. All
sorry.
right. Okay, good. All right.
I
I'll
didn't
go
want to be a
back
distraction while
and
we were
watch the
talking.
rest of the show. There you are.
All
Yep.
right. Thanks, Scott.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Potter. All right, so I haven't seen any other questions come in through the Q&A, and I don't believe we've received anything else via email or voicemail. So I would like to, again, we do have the Zoom live chat. If anyone is interested in posting a question, feel free. For everyone else, you may contact us by email. And I think Rob mentioned this earlier in the presentation. We do have a comment period for the next 2 weeks. So anytime between now and then, feel free to drop us a line. The best ways to contact us are by the project email, which is on your screen here. It's DOT 2025 CLRS -North Branford@ct.gov. You may leave a voicemail referencing the project at 860-594-2020. And our project webpage is portal.ct.gov/DOT 2025 CLRS-North Branford. On the website, you can also find copies of the plans and a link to the survey, which we do again encourage everyone to fill out, and it has also been posted to the chat here. But as we are not seeing any additional questions come in, again, we want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. The comment period is open until September 4th, 2 weeks from now. And yeah, with that, thank you, Rob, for the presentation. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for your questions and your comments. And I hope everyone has a